Canada is a very diverse place in all senses of the word. People, languages, climate, geography, landscape, and obviously much more. Although as a country, there are a lot of stereotypes that many automatically associate us with, and there's a lot of interesting facts that some people just don't know about Canada. This particular one piques my interest the most. Do people actually know what the difference between a province and a territory are? Honestly, there are probably many Canadians that couldn't even tell you the difference between the two of them. I know for a fact that I wasn't taught this in my school geography class growing up, so I'd imagine it's the same for a lot of other people. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the difference between our 10 Canadian provinces and our 3 Canadian territories. I hope you enjoy. The first major difference between a province and a territory is how they receive their power. A province received its power from what was called the British North America Act of 1867 and now the Constitution Act of 1982. The Constitution Act divides power between the federal and provincial governments. This is why some things are up to the provinces to control and others are up to the federal government to control. Things like education and healthcare are controlled by the provinces, while the military is controlled by the federal government. For there to be a change to one of these powers, there must be a constitutional amendment made. As for the territories, this is not the case at all. A territorial government gains its power from the Parliament of Canada. So essentially, whatever power they are given by Parliament. So unlike with the provinces, when a change is to be made, the Parliament of Canada can unilaterally change something without a constitutional amendment being required. In other words, the provinces are considered to be co-sovereign and the territories are not considered to be sovereign at all. The second thing is about premiers and the government. This is where things get a little tricky. As we know, every Canadian province has a premier, who is considered the head of government in that jurisdiction. They are elected as the leader of the political party with the most seats. Just like the provinces, Yukon also does the same. For those curious, they currently have a liberal minority government. In the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, this is not the case. There are no political parties at all in either territory. In these two territories, they use what is called a consensus government. Independent representatives are elected to the legislature. These representatives will then elect a premier, speaker, cabinet ministers, etc. While I cannot speak to whether or not this is really the case just because I don't follow these politics that closely, but by definition, consensus governments are considered to be nonpartisan. This is obviously very different from the rest of the provinces and how they operate in Canada. Now, a question that many people might be asking is, will this ever change? Will the territories become provinces and gain the power that the other 10 already have? This is a very loaded question that some probably have opposing views on. Former Prime Minister of Canada, Paul Martin, once expressed his opinion on the matter, saying that he believed all 3 territories should eventually gain provincial status. Martin said, quote, "They will eventually get full provincial powers because they represent an important part of history." And while Martin did not put a timetable on this, he said it will only happen when the provinces and territories are ready for this to happen. Now here's something to consider. He said this back in 2004. Here we are in the first month of 2022, and there are still 10 provinces and 3 territories. Not a lot has changed. The explanation for this is largely due to the small sizes of the territories. With low populations, small economies, they would likely need many more people and a much larger economy so that they could rely less on federal aid and could sort of operate more independently. Until then, amending the Constitution remains highly unlikely. I hope you guys enjoyed this different style of video. Let me know if you liked it and if you have any other questions regarding this topic. I really enjoyed putting this one together. I think it's a really interesting topic to discuss. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.